managers that are a part of the providers that manage their case managers, and LEA admins, which are admins that can log in just to invite officers. The other important part of this role is when a new case is created, they have to determine eligibility. So a new case comes in and they just either mark it approved or ineligible. And then at the end of the case, they can also mark it cleared exceptional or failure to complete, follow-up required.
Okay, so let's pretend that you are, so I understand that this has been rolled out in law enforcement and public health, but if you're on the front lines and you're a case manager dealing with a patient or somebody who's been accused of a minor charge, can you show me the user interface from that
Yeah,
case?
would it make sense for you guys for me to skip to that, or do you want to see the officer?
Yeah, why don't you skip to that? That would be great.
One of the things you need to be aware of, David, is that the original intent was law enforcement, but it's a care coordination piece that may have nothing to do with law enforcement, citations, or any of the above.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I will skip, I guess, to the site manager.
And do you have Broward County Corrections as a client, or was this a demo to get their business?
This is purely a demo. None of this data is real. It's just a playground.
We had a pending contract right after the school shooting that the other technology partner we had working with us was never able to pull it off, and but we had went quite a distance with them at one point.
Okay.
All right, so I'm now logged in as the site manager, and to get a case to show up in here, the agency point person would have assigned it to this site manager's agency. And so then any site manager in that agency can now see the case and assign it. So I'm going to assign this one to this case manager, descriptively named Broward Case Manager.
Okay.
And now that's saved automatically and disappeared from this list. So now I'll log out and log in as that case manager. Just be case. All right, so now we're in the dashboard of this case manager. Let me turn on Do Not Disturb here. And
Can you
here's
show me on that top graphic there's the overview. You have open cases and closed cases. Is that a zero-sum game, or are there other colors and detail you can put in that top level graphic?
We could put more. That's just what we have now for this example system.
Okay.
We could add more statuses like in progress or assigned, and
it's not built yet, but it's relatively easy to port that into the graphic. And how did you build this out? Is this how have you the data pulls off of what, SQL?
So the system itself uses a PostgreSQL database.
Okay.
This is a JavaScript that I think it's pulling from JSON data that's fed from the database to it.
Okay. And so you coded this all directly, or how is this built?
So the underlying framework for the whole system is built in a content management system called Craft CMS. It's a commercial product, and the reason we use that, it's really good for building web apps. It doesn't make any assumptions about what you're trying to build with it. So it's a really solid starting point. So that's what we built this on. And I'll show you that in the back end when we get to that point. All right, so here's that case, April, whoopsie. We'll go into that. And now the first step here is to create a diversion plan. They can also review the record here and see the offense information. And
fields for records, you can put whatever you want in those fields. In other words, photograph, signature.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be a treatment plan or a safety plan in the cases of child welfare, substance abuse, mental health, those kind of things that are kind kind of separate.
Yeah, here's the full record log, and the officer actually uploaded a picture of their driver's license in this case.
Okay.
They can add a note to it as well here.
Do you have an example, by the way, that's not a law enforcement, but do you have an actual addiction treatment example?
No, not currently.
Okay.
All right, so now we'll go to adding the diversion plan.
Well, let's back up. So
Yep.
what I'd like to see is if this is a telehealth program where you're connecting with people online
Mm-hmm.
and telemedicine. So assumedly on the criminal justice, you'd have the case manager, and then there would be the person in violation, whatever they've been charged with. Can you show me what that user experience would look like on their end?
Yeah, there's really nothing for them to see until I add this diversion plan, though.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So we'll pick a due date, and then what the charge is for this. In this example, they're charging for this, and then we can either set it as a one-time payment, or we can allow them to pay in monthly installments.
Right.
So now the diversion plan is created, and we can add individual tasks to it. So I can say, so there's some predefined ones here. We can also do a custom one.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll say schedule the initial meeting, and then we can pick whether that's in person or a video session. And we can set a due date for that and add some notes if we want. Just throw some Moby Dick filler text in there.
There you go.
And then we can do one that's maybe this one requires a file upload.
Mm-hmm.
It's good enough for now. So now the case has some actions, and now I will log in as this participant and pull up this email that they were sent as the participant. See if I can share this. So when the participant was added, they were sent this email invite with a link to create their account. And I will open up a different browser. So this is the link they were sent, and they can pick a password. And I just picked that big long password and then didn't save it. Hang on a second. So I'm going to log into the back end here. This is participant. All right, so I've logged in as the participant now. My password snafu, and if they had more than one case, they would all show up here. This participant only has one case, so it shows them the next step here is to pay for enrollment. So they come in here, they can either choose to pay it in full, or they can do it in the monthly installments. I think this is in test mode. Let's see if this works. Okay. So now they have a subscription that lasts for 4 months that'll bill their card $39.50 every month. So now we see if we go to their case, this is the view that the participant sees. They can see the same information about the offense, but they can't see that record log. And they can see that they have 2 uncompleted tasks. They can see the due dates. If they're past due on these.
Let me just understand this.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who got busted with $20 worth of weed is looking at this on their dashboard.
Correct.
Okay. Can you show me what the telehealth or telemedicine portion looks like this? So what would the user experience look like on their counselor?
It's the same one that we're in now, but when you schedule your meeting, the participant has a choice of doing it either face-to-face or doing it virtually in a Zoom room like we're in now.
Right. So it was at the creation of this particular task, schedule a meeting, the case manager decided that this is going to be a video session. So they didn't give them the choice. But you could have selected in person or video, and then the participant would see both options here. But right now they're only seeing the video session option.
Have you tried getting drug addicts on the system?
We've had a lot of outpatient therapy with the providers in the Panhandle that this is the only way they can deliver services in the last 10 days. We had about 160 sessions in the last 10 days for outpatient adult using the same video, the secure video platform that, these participants would use. But one of the things that we're really trying to look at is a customization of this for child welfare and also for schools and community coordination of care, not necessarily having law enforcement be the only front door, but the front door could be anywhere. But in some of these uses, law enforcement, schools, parents, community-based providers, and any other stakeholders that you would engage to successfully complete a treatment plan. So like a no wrong door approach, but I want you guys to have Jason, but yeah, we've done some adults, not in this one, but in the video piece that's connected to it.
So just using Zoom is what you're saying?
No, it's a secure video. It's a HIPAA compliant version. We're not running real Zoom, but it's it's the same meeting that we're in now. It's the same platform that Jason invited us to the meeting now.
Yeah, no one actually logs into Zoom. You don't even have a Zoom account. It's just, it handles the creating and launching of the meeting in a HIPAA compliant layer.
So we're going to stop now. We've got our 15 minutes done. I want Justin to look at this particularly on this user experience and how you're running it. We'll have to set up a call with this. Guys, I also want to just kind of put this out there. If we're going to have meetings, they have to come in a calendar invite, not embedded in an email. We're all running with a real heavy load schedule. If you can just put that in there. I sent that to Joel today for him to jump on here. And that's what we need to be able to come on meetings. We're looking at this. I'll tell you, just coming out of the gate, the user experience is pretty thin. Okay. It is running off of Zoom from what I can see. I want Justin to give his feedback because there are a lot of concerns around reimbursement and using Zoom because particularly it doesn't have geolocation tied to it and whether or not payer is going to be reimbursed to it. What we'll do is we'll end that now. I appreciate your time and we'll schedule a time with Justin.
Alrighty.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.